What's going on, Vanquishers? Welcome back to the State of the Game. We want to give you guys a quick update on a couple of things in our universe. We broke down last week. We broke down the hero card, the board, and how the V-triggers and all those class stuff works. This round, we're going to break down our item cards and our power-up cards. So, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Charlie. I am the creator and developer for the Vanquishers TCG. We're going to go ahead and introduce the other developers that are along with us.
Hey everybody, my name's Jason. I am the co-creator and developer of the Vanquisher TCG. If you need any help with contacting us, go ahead and hit me at jd.bratlin@gmail.com.
I'm Jose. I am the web and app developer for the Vanquishers TCG.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Brandon. I'm a developer for Vanquishers, and I pretty much do a lot of the game balancing.
All right, so we're going to get started with a couple of our item cards and power-up cards. So these, we're going to go through breaking down each types that we have in our game, and I'm also going to be demonstrating how these would be used in our universe in real time, in a real gaming scenario. Now, we're not going to go into so much how the gameplay functionality works. We're going to go into how the cards are used and how to use them within our universe. If any of you guys have questions in between the segments, you can feel free to be typing them in. Jose and Jason will be kind of screening through them. Brandon will be going through a lot of the cards, breaking them down, as I myself will be going through the demonstrations. So in between each demonstration and breakdown, we'll take questions in between, and we'll answer them as quickly as possible, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started with the actual board. We're going to transition into the board now. Okay, so the first cards we want to go ahead and focus on will be one of the energy class cards. So last week we talked about the energy classes, but did not really break them down, which we told you we'll cover in a later state of the game. So in this state of the game, we're going to go ahead and break it down for you guys on how the energy classes work. Now keep in mind, this is a Vanquisher. We're going to be using the demonstration on Saigon specifically. But energy classes pertain to specific class members, like the order members, such as Raskin from last week, that he was specifically a dark energy class user. So we're going to break these cards down and give you guys a look at what these cards do. Okay, so first card we're going to break down is going to be the energy class cards. Brandon, if you want to go ahead and cover this breakdown.
Yes, sir. All right, so let's get into it. So if we look over here at our energy class breakdown, we'll go ahead and start off with the storage energy point cost. Now you're going to see this point cost at the top of the card, and it's going to tell you pretty much how many storage points is needed in order to activate this card. Sorry. All right, so there are several different types of energy classes that any hero can use, or not any hero can use, but certain heroes are designated energy classes, and Vanquishers can use any energy class. So the different class types are the Dark, Light, Solar, Arc, Glacier, and Tech. And if you look at the card on the left, it shows you exactly where the energy type is. All right, so we move on down to our energy weakness. Some classes are weak against others and can apply 2 times critical energy shield damage. Now you're going to see this at the bottom of the card. On the left, it'll say the weakness, and then on the right, it'll say the resistance. So certain energy classes have weakness to other energy classes, and they have resistance towards other energy classes. If you look at the top of the card, you'll see the card name. You'll see the card type. This identifies what type of card it is right underneath the card name. And then it'll tell you the ability and the details you'll see at the bottom of the card.
We want to stress to you guys that this is an advanced card. This does not come out in the basic mode. So the basic gameplays, energy classes isn't really a factor. This is more of an advanced mode card. So I'm going to quickly show you guys onto the board itself. So we're going to go ahead and scroll to the board real quick. And here is your energy class card. So So here at the bottom, it shows energy classes, exactly where we showed you guys last week when we did the board breakdown. So when you apply this card, you will actually just apply it right below the hero, and it will show up right below. So here, this is the main data and information you need to know about this card at all times. So we're going to move into the next one. This is probably the biggest topic that we're going to touch on. We're going to spend a little bit of time on this card.
All right, so if you look at the top of the card, top left of the card, you're going to see the storage energy point cost. Just like every other card, every card has a storage energy point cost. For this particular Crimson Rifle, it says 5. So you would need to use 5 storage energy points in order to activate this card. Each item has a different class, and this class is identified towards the left of the card in the middle, and it tells you if it's a range, if it's a melee, it's a critical art, or if it's a hand-to-hand type class. If we look right here at this card, the targeting value is 7 for this card. When we go into actual gameplay, we'll really break down how that works out. And once you see it, visually, it makes a lot more sense. All right, so weapon abilities. If you take a close look at this card, you'll see that this specific card has 3 different weapon abilities. 2 of these weapon abilities you can use when the card says you can use those abilities. And then the bottom ability, which is highlighted with the green Vanquisher symbol, is only available when you have V triggered.
Yeah, most weapons have 2 passive abilities, which works immediately. So once you have the weapon on the field, you can immediately use those 2. Now there's a third ability for most weaponry. In order to use it, you must be V triggered to use that third ability, which usually is somewhat game breaking to be able to utilize that ability. So we're going to take our step back to the board. Okay, so on the board, in our deck, we have our deck obviously has been sorted and placed here onto the side. So I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a few cards, which in the game at the beginning, you would end up drawing 7 cards. So I guess in this scenario, I'll draw the 7 cards as if we're in real game time. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my 7. So in this case here, I have 2 weapons. I have the Crimson Rifle, and then I also have the Energy Dagger. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these 2 side by side. So these are 2 different weapon types. So as you can see here at the bottom corner where the icon is, it shows that the gun symbol, which indicates the range weaponry, and then the sword symbol at the bottom left corner, which indicates melee combat. So as you can see, the Vanquisher in this lower area is where you would match these symbols from. So you want to make sure that these symbols on your hero card matches those weapons, because those are the types that hero can use. So we're going to go ahead, since we have 20 storage energy points, which is super powerful. That's OP for this demonstration. So we're going to go ahead and activate this card. So in this case here, we're going to go ahead and just activate the card. And you would place it on any one of these 2 slots here, because you can activate up to 2 weapons. You can have a handful of weapon cards, but you can only use 2 simultaneously. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the power-up cards. So the power-up cards we're going to talk about next. Brandon, if you want to go ahead and break down our power-up cards.
All right, so power-up cards are pretty, much straightforward. These were what we were talking about, ammunition types that you need in order to use those weapon items. So for the weapon that we were just looking at, we needed 2 of this kinetic ammunition, and some weapons will require energy power-up. So it's important to look. I believe it's located bottom left of the card. It tells you what kind of ammunition type it needs.
So let's go ahead and go back to the board real quick. In my hand here, it's showing I do have plenty of ammunition and some energy power-ups. I'm going to go ahead and activate my other weapon here that I have for this demonstration. So in order for me to utilize this weapon, I would have to have 2 energy power-up cards attached to it. So you would simply take your 2 energy power-up cards. You would apply it right below, and these will allow you to know how many you have on your hero, on your weapon. I'm sorry. And then on this turn as well, this requires 2 for the Crimson Rifle to use. So as I place underneath, now these 2 weapons are activated, and they have the necessary power-ups to start to use the weapons. The minute you activate your ammunition, your kinetic ammunition, or your energy power-ups to your weapons, you can use it on that turn. The first two passive abilities are made completely available to you. They will tell you how to use them, so be sure to read that information and to use them properly. So at this point, we would be able to start targeting and hitting the opponent. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next breakdown card. So we're gonna go ahead and head over here. So with our weapons, like I told you last week on the last state of the game, you're able to modify your weapons. This is where things can get a little bit more personal.
All right, so like all the other cards, there is a storage energy point cost that's at the top left. You know, that's how much it's going to cost to activate that card. At the top, you're going to see the weapon stat boost. So for this particular card that they're showing here, it adds 2 to the targeting of that weapon. So like Charlie was saying, this is where you really personalize your weapon, because some of these will add targeting values. Some of these will add damage values. Some of them will take away, you know, other values. So it's important to pay attention to these, and you'll add those to the values of your rifle. So there are all kinds of different attachment types. There's scope, barrel, underbarrel, blade, grip, dark, light, arc, solar, glacier, tech, and all of these apply to certain weapons. So certain weapons can only use certain modifications. So you have to make sure you're paying attention to the attachment type, and the item will say what attachment types you're able to use.
We're going to go ahead and go down into the demonstration here below, and I'm going to show you guys how this looks and how to use them in real time. Okay, so now that we have these cards in our hands here, as you can see in this demonstration, I'm just going to lay these cards out real quick just to kind of show you the 3 different attachment types. So these ones here have the 3 different attachment types. So right over here on this side, this is the underbarrel. This here is a scope, and then this one here is the actual barrel. So most of the barrel types will increase damage of some sort, but reduce some kind of range or targeting value. Whereas the scope here will obviously increase your targeting value, giving you a better chance to target your enemy. And then an underbarrel usually helps balance a little of both. It can either help you deal a little bit more damage, or it can help you deal a little bit more targeting. There are some underbarrels that will do area of effect damage and really damage your enemies that you're battling against. So the way this would look, obviously in the top left corner, you'll have your storage energy costs that you'll have to apply to. So let's go ahead and focus on the Crimson Rifle real quick. So the Crimson Rifle, its targeting value is 7. So I like to focus more on increasing my targeting. So I do as much as I can to increase targeting rather than damage. I rather know I can hit you every turn slowly than rather going for the Hail Mary kill. So I would focus on attaching an actual scope mod. So this would apply on the very top. So as you can see, the stat values are up on the top area here. So that way you can keep track of all your targeting values when adding the values here when you're going into your targeting. And then of course I would then focus on an underbarrel attachment, which would be the Phoenix's Eye. This here also helps increase targeting. So I would definitely use that one on my setups. So now what this looks like, it's pretty much a complete weapon modified to my liking. Let's take a look at the dagger here. So with the dagger, I have an actual mod here that will increase the damage by 3, but it would actually reduce the targeting by 1, which in most cases it targets by 7. That's not a bad value to take. I'll probably end up taking a hit for that. But let's say, for instance, I'm battling a couple of enemies and I need to take their shield down. I'm battling a dark user, or I'm battling a solar user, or I'm battling a light user. However user that I'm battling, I can equip energy mods to this. And the thing is, with energy mods, this will increase the critical energy shield damage. So as you can see here in this top little corner, the energy shield damage, now this is what cuts right through the shield quickly. And this is damage that only applies directly to the shield. So this is how you'll be able to target the enemy's weakness. So in this case here, I would be targeting my enemy that is a dark, and his weakness could have been dark. And now my blade here has a dark element to be able to deal damage. So let's just say, for instance, I decided not to use the scope mod on this setup, and instead I decided to add a solar element to this gun. So now this gun, I've increased the targeting, but then I also increase the critical energy shield damage. So critical energy shield damage with these mods automatically applies to anybody's shield. It doesn't have to be the weakness. But if it just so happens to be that enemy's weakness, it's going to multiply that damage. So it'll be 6 damage additional to the shield directly to cut through that shield quickly. So mods, these energy mods, you can stack multiples on different weapons. You can actually put a dark and a light, or a dark and a solar on one weaponry. Those are 2 attachments, elemental mods, if you want to do an elemental. But just keep in mind, these mods only target the shield, and they will not transition to the dark to life points. So in this case here, I can actually add the edge on this blade as well. So if I added the edge, let me put that under. So I have the edge on this, which is going to actually increase my damage by 3, so that's 6 damage with this little dagger. I reduce 1 targeting from this, so that's 6 targeting. So the odds is slightly lower, but the damage is absolutely high. And then with it having an energy mod, it will also deal an elemental damage to the shield, which is gonna cut that shield down even quicker. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next card.
All right, no problem. So yeah, the hero item. This is actually a card that I think is very critical to get out into the field. And as you can tell by the energy storage point cost, it is a very high value card. So a lot of these are going to be in your 6, 7. I think some of them might be a little bit higher than that as far as storage point cost. But it's, you know, this is a item that you're going to have to save up those storage points for, so that you can get them out into the play and play it immediately, is what I say. If you look at the top, it's going to tell you the card name, the card type, and then if you look towards the bottom, it's going to tell you the specific abilities for these cards. So all these cards have, just like the other weapons card, have specific abilities. And if you look at the very bottom, one is for the V-trigger effect. So when you V-trigger, this weapon is going to have an effect that you can only use when in V-trigger mode.
So essentially, essentially these cards play out just like the weapon item cards. The difference is these weapons are specific to the hero.
And one other major difference is that these do not require any ammunition types. So once you play this card, you can use it immediately. Yeah. You don't have to wait to activate any other ammunition types for these cards.
Okay, so we're going to show you what this looks like in real time on the actual board here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the last 2 cards I have here in my deck. Okay, so in this case here now, I have a couple more cards in my hand. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Dimensional Gauntlet, which pertains to Saigon specifically. So once you've activated this card, it can be armors, it can be weapons, it's whatever pertains to the hero. So in this case, to Saigon, his gauntlet is not so much of a weapon, it's an armor type. So his stats on this card is a little bit different, where this symbol here, we'll get you guys a keygen so you'll know what all the symbols represent, but this here actually resists more damage. So that right here, any incoming damage, he'll resist 1 of the incoming damage coming his way. That's what the uniqueness of this actual gauntlet does. It also helps increasing targeting to every single weapon that's out in the field in his hands, and it increases his shields. So his shield points go up with this actual gauntlet. And then, of course, it has his 2 passive abilities and then his vanquishing ability. So with all this damage and all this powerful output damage you're going to do, we have classes and we have actual builds that you can do that can actually make you somewhat of a tank. Okay, so we didn't really touch too much about these, but we want to go ahead and touch on it. Now, this is another advanced mode. These mods here these mods are other advanced modes. I'm sorry I did not actually state that from the beginning segments when we didn't cover it. These mods are advanced gameplay mode cards, so you won't see these in very many basic gameplays.
All right, so the next card we got are the armor cards. These cards, like every other card, require storage energy points in order to activate. At the top there, you're going to see the card name, the card type, and the item class. What's most important about these cards is the values that are on the left. These values are going to represent your energy shield points, defense points, and damage resistance. So, for instance, this card adds 1 damage resistance. So when your enemy, your opponent attacks you, you can resist 1 of their damages. It also is going to add to your defense value. So when they go to attack you, they're going to need to roll a higher number in order to actually damage you.
Yeah, two.
And then
Two more. And believe me when we tell you that
and
is
it makes a
lot.
big difference.
It's
It
a
makes a
lot.
big difference. That those little 2 points, it seems like nothing, but it makes a big difference. And then the other value at the top there is your energy shield points. So that'll add to your energy shield.
One thing that we also have to focus on with these armors, there are armors that are class specific. There are neutral armors that fit to every class. So conjurers will have their own armor types, sentinels will have their own armor types, and assassins will have their own armor types, which usually plays upon their roles. Whether assassins may have a lot more defensive value rather than damage resistance value. Conjurers may have more shield intake values rather than evasion values or armored values. Whereas obviously a sentinel will probably gauge more into defense resistance, impact resistance values rather than shield values. So we'll go ahead and go into the example real quick. We actually have one here that's pertaining to Saigon specifically. It's his conjurer armor. It's not Saigon's only, it's to any conjurer class. So any conjurer can use this armor type. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the card. It's the Quasar armor. So the way this plays out in the game is you would take your armor when activated, and right here on the side where this armor slot is, this is where you would place your armor. So you would place the armor right here off to the side, obviously line it up properly, and then you would go ahead and place it under your hero card. And now the values, if you look at it, will kind of line up amongst each other. You see how these values line up? So that way when looking at your defense values when someone's targeting you, you take a look here. Saigon's case, it will be 11 defense valued with this armor. He gets to resist 2 plus the 1 more for his actual gauntlet. So it's actually 3 that he could resist incoming damage, which makes him pretty resistant and resilient. And then his actual energy shield goes up 4 points, which is actually a lot. Last week, we had a lot of feedback about the merch store is actually worked on. It's up. Jose, I don't know if you actually put it for purchasing yet.
Yeah.
Have you got it? Okay.
I actually have the tab up.
Okay, so it's actually up on our website. So if you guys that want to support this game actively right now, all the funds and everything that comes in goes 100% back into the project, 100% to get this developed so that way we can get this game out. So we do have our merch in the merch store right now as we speak. Just visit our site, www.vanquisherstcg.com. Support the movement. Every dollar goes to the development of this game. I can't stress how much your support is necessary for this gameplay for you guys.
Hey, just one last question I got from Facebook. They asked, are characters on these cards? Who's the artist behind the characters on the cards? And what's how are we getting artwork completed?
Okay, so as if right now, I do all the concept arts. So every art that you see are conceptually built by me, and by that I say I use all kinds of art from the internet. I will take pieces and build my own character. And I would utilize it, match colors, do a bunch of Photoshop magic, and build my characters within the vision of what we see our universe as. We are currently working with an illustrator,
Hakeem from Norway.
So we are actively right now dealing with an actual concept artist that is doing our artwork, that's currently drawing out every single piece of artwork that I've conceptually built for our universe.
I gotta say, if you've seen this art, he's really bringing this game to life. He's really bringing these heroes, to life.
Yeah, his work is, it's gonna look very good, and this is why we need the support for the community, because we need enough funding to be able to revamp all the artwork from to make our universe just that much more better, man. But this is where we're getting our artwork. So hopefully I answered your question. It's me, myself, is the one that's really putting a lot of this concept arts together.
We got a funny concept. Proven said, what if Marvel wanted to add you guys to their universe?
Man, you guys really are going to make me say something I don't want to say.
No, I'll just say it like this.
No, you
can't.
Hold on.
I don't want to say it.
You can't, not yet.
Like that. That's not anything.
Let's not go. Let's not get there. Let's not get there right now.
Hey, Brandon, they gonna make me say it.
Pump the brake.
Hey, yeah.
I'll just say like that. I'll say it like this.
Let's just say there's room for growth.
There is room for growth. Good job,
exactly.
Brandon.
There's room for growth.
Good job, Brandon.
All right, can I give a little lore? Just a little lore.
No, we're not gonna give no lore.
Nah,
No lore.
no
We're not
Okay.
gonna
bro.
go into that.
Let's
We gotta
let's
follow the story. We're gonna see where it goes. If you want more information, you go to @VanquisherTCG for Twitter, @VanquisherTCG for Instagram. If you go Facebook/VanquisherTCG, you'll find our page there. We do also have a Discord that's being
way to go,
constructed right
Jay.
now. And if you
Way
guys
to
want to
go.
continue getting more information, you guys just come to the live streams and ask all the questions you can within the time limits we have and the parameters. And we'll answer everything for you guys. If you guys want to direct message me, the Discord is going to probably be the easiest one. So if anyone needs the information for that, we'll get it popped up in the next live because it's under construction. There are a few people that are in the Discord, but they just got some early access. If you want that early access before next week, just directly message us and we will get you in there. But at the end of the day, we just want to say we appreciate it. Our account on Instagram is going up, so that means we're spreading out to the communities more and more, and that's the main goal right now. We don't have a marketing machine behind us that's paying for us that we're paying to go and run around to send ads to 1 million people. This is literally coming from our pockets, from our minds, from our know-how, our connections, and our networks, and everyone that's connected and part of this right now. I just want to say thank you for being in here and being part of this, because you're at the beginning of something. You know, when you think of the great things and the great aspirations of entrepreneurs in the world, like, you guys are here seeing this unfold before your very eyes, and I do appreciate everyone being part of our universe. You know,
Yeah, we've been doing this for quite some times, and just keep in mind, man, we're the every average day gamers. We love video games, board games. I mean, this is what we loved, and we decided to put together. We played so many games and played so many board games and decided, like, you know, what do we love about them, what we didn't love about them, and what can we do, what could have been better. And this is essentially what we're building, what could have been better. And so this is why we're reaching out to the community, not only for the support financially to help us develop all the artwork that is necessary for us to push out, to make this, to hit stores and hit everywhere, but we're also reaching out to the community to help balance the game out, give their feedback and tell us what they think about the game, and help us restore the complete balance of what we need. Because at this point, we know that we have a solid product that you guys are going to enjoy and love.
just want to say thank you for everybody that tuned in. Continue doing that just to get more updates and see where we're at.
Don't forget
And
to
just
register
remember-
to the website. Don't forget to register your email to the website to get exclusive content, not only to directly PM us, but we'll also be sending you guys updates through our website, through a newsletter. You guys, it's very important to do that. www.vanquisherstcg.com. Get on there, register to the newsletter. All right, everybody, we really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you tune in next Monday for the next state of the game. We are going to be covering our ability cards and how they function. The board will be laid out exactly the same, and we're going to continue on just to show you guys how abilities work and break down our complete abilities on how they can actually turn the fight around instantly with just abilities. But we appreciate your guys' support. Continue supporting. Follow our social media. Spread the word. Vanquishers, we out.
Out.